What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are back for the BBR Week 8 battle when we go up against Gravy, and his roster you can see on the right bottom corner this time around compared to my own roster. This is a very threatening matchup for us, but before we jump into that, then I go briefly my team. This battle will be going up on time, but as a little bit of breaking the fourth wall, I've been actually quite sick past week. Not this week, that on the Sunday that goes, but before that week. And there was a solid chance that I would have had the virus, you know what virus, I'm not gonna be mentioning in the video, just in case if YouTube acts weirdly about it. But thankfully I feel healthy now. The test proved to be negative, so I should not have it anymore. But I didn't have a proper time to really ask my friend to get the graphics for this, so both this battle and two of my NCP battles versus 6-foot hacks, and as well as the Ultra player, I don't think I will be having face cam or the layout, so bear with me with that, but I will be providing still the battles nonetheless, either on time or some of them like the NCP battles have been delayed, so my apologies for my side with that. But now I'm gonna be going very briefly to the team, so I won't be keeping my opponent waiting any longer. So we have a defensive Mir with Cobbleberry here for the SlackOut and the other things that it can deal with. We actually gonna be going through its sets. It's gonna be Earthquake, Play Rough, Triple Axer and Rooster. Play Rough I wanted to have there for the Pangoro, because my team doesn't deal with that thing too well. Like this matchup, defensively wise, is a very tough for me, so hopefully we can win this, but I'm a little worried that this might be our loss that we are getting into, depending on how things go, but hopefully our sets will work out for us. But next off we have the Executor that you saw. It's coming yet again, very weird set, but this is there to help dealing with the Tapu Fini. We are somewhat specially defensive, we have some attack investment so we can 2-hit KO the Fini if it's specially defensive, unless he has iron defenses up, and this is there to also be a pivot, alluring something like Heatran or the Galarian Slowking, which I'm also think that might swap in on me and take advantage of me. So that's gonna be that. We're gonna be having Harvest and Citrus Berry also to keep ourselves healthy. Then we have a Life Orb mixed Nidoking with Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam and Super Power. This is just a very good breaker versus his team. There are some things that can outspeed me that will threaten me out, like the Psychot, but hopefully outside of those things, defensively wise, he doesn't have a good ways to deal with this, and hopefully it can break down the bulkier things that it can outpace. And then we can handle the faster things afterwards from there. And we have super power to hit the Assault Vest Pangoro or the bulkier Credent that could show up to deal with this thing defensively, because he will think this is gonna be by far his biggest worry going into this matchup. And then we have Heavy Duty Boots, Adamant Viva with Triple Axer, Knockoff, Low Kick and Poison Jab. I don't have Ice Shot because I don't feel like I will be rely on it in this game. If I do, well, that's a oof on me, but I wanted to have both Poison Jab and Low Kick to cover the Pangoro, Heatran and Tapu Fini all together with that combination of coverage that I can run alongside with my stab. And I wanted to have Triple Axer to hit the Psychot hard or something like this, so I pick them off from there. And Knockoff obviously for being able to have that Dark Stab to get rid of items. And then we are going to be having a debut of our trappings here, and we are gonna be running Eviolite, Adamant relatively fast to outpace the Slowking, and then we have a good amount of bulk to live a Ice Beam from it, unless rocks are up, or we have been able to, or if we have to take a prior damage to it, we should be able to live a hit from Heatran unless it's a boosting item as well. So this thing ideally can either eliminate one of them, or depending on how the matchup is going, maybe even both, which would be pretty ideal for us. The other moves are pretty much just coverage. I don't see myself clicking other than Earthquake with this thing, but it can prove it to be pretty valuable just to eliminate some of those things that are clearly weak to ground type attacks. And then the last member of the team is gonna be our Mantine, coming back after our debut for this season after we took over the team. I haven't brought it since then, but now we are bringing it just in case for that Heatran, because my team otherwise don't really deal with it too well. And Rotom Heat didn't seem to have that great of a matchup because the Psychot. So that's gonna be the team. Let's hope for the best. Hopefully we can keep up with the winning streak and push for the playoffs, but it won't be any easy. So stay tuned for the battle. Alright, here we are with the battle, and let's see what our opponent Gravy is gonna be bringing to us. Shoutouts to him being able to wait until I got myself healthy. I really appreciate that, and hopefully we can have a fun, clean match, and hopefully for our sake we can win this. But it's a very scary matchup from team preview, at least as I was prepping. But we'll see how this is gonna be going, and let's see what he brings. He brings Pangoro, Credent, Finny, Saika, Slowking, and Lysanroc. So, not too big of a surprises for him. Might be have. I'm kinda glad that I don't see Heatran, which leaves Mantine pretty expendable already, as it is. So, if I have to sack something to the Pangoro or anything else, that would be definitely the first choice of doing. But when it comes to a lead, I've been thinking already during prep that I might want to lead with my Mew, cause Pangoro as a lead is very scary versus me, and I do have the Play Rough and Colboberry as well on it, so I can deal with it from there. But we'll see how this is gonna be going. I expect this Galarian Slowking to be Shocker Berry or Assault Vest, if anything. I don't expect him to have a shell on it. But if he does, that means that Weavile with Knockoff or Nidoking with Earth Power can revenge skill it a little bit easier, so I don't have to worry about a Redancing Berry. And Trapinch might be able to actually revenge skill a Lysanroc as well, depending on what health I will be at. So even without the Heatran being there, the Lysanroc as well, I can utilize it for that. I can even revenge skill Credent, because I have super power on it, but let's see what he's gonna be leading with. Hopefully he's able to submit his team on time, so he is able to select the proper lead. But it seems like he was able to do, and let's see how this is gonna be going. I'll lead with the Mew, because I feel like I have to match up well versus the Pangoro, turn 1. But there might be some leads, like Tapu Fini for example, that might be a little bit annoying for me, or the Credent. Well, let's see what he leads with. Big Chungus, that looks to be the Credent, alright, so not necessarily the Mon that I wanted to see in front of me. So do I use Mantine to pivot around this and go from there? I don't think I want to let Mew to get paralyzed or potentially Crunch to be popped up, so I think I go into my Mantine and go for Scalds versus this thing. And I'm gonna see what he goes for. He could pick like a Sword Dance set, which would be quite annoying. He does have a Super Fang on it, alright, so that might be okay for me. This could be also a Assault Vest set, but either way I'm gonna Scald. Because if I can manage to get this thing burned, it would be a lot less annoying to deal with. This could be a Assault Vest, this could be a Citrus Berry, or maybe a Chobo Berry on it. But let's see who does he go into. Gertie. That is the Tapu Fini, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. I'm sorry if you hear my Discord, I don't actually have it muted right now, so from the background for my audio it might be able to be heard. But either way, I'm gonna be swapping into my Executor. This is the dedicated switching to this thing. We don't see leftovers on it, which is intriguing. I wonder what he has on it. He does go for the Toxic, okay, and he also didn't have the Misty Terrain, which I have seen that lately he hasn't tend to run this too much, but I don't think this should really worry about my Executor all too much. And I think I'll just go for the Teleport, and hopefully we get to see the Slowking in front of us, so I can trap it with Trapinch and take care of that thing from there. I don't see any reason for him to stay in. Yeah, he doesn't stay in. Let's see the Slowking coming in. Water News. Yeah, that is the Galarian Slowking. So now I'm intrigued to see, does he actually pack the shell on it? But even if he tries to swap out, I'm getting Earthquake on somebody. Still, because he didn't bring any ground immunities, he doesn't have Decidueye to resist it. So only way for him to avoid that would be some sort of air balloon. But Akbar is in, man. And this is a trap, hopefully. And a successful debut for our little Trapinch here. We are able to outspeed it. It doesn't prove to be a Shocker Berry, and we are able to knock out this Slowking right there. Great job, Akbar. What a debut for a little guy here. I'm happy for you, Akbar. This is a hype. I'm so glad I brought you here. And now that I'm still fully healthy, I can revenge kill the Illusion Rock out of the way, which means that Vival is a lot more freed up from there, that I don't have to feel Axelrock finishing me off from there. So that's pretty good for us, as he does go into this Pangoro. And here, do I just sack the Mantine so I get my Mew in safely, or do I hard swap into Mew on the first knockoff? I think I'll let the Mantine go down and we are gonna be 5-5 after this. I want to be able to get my Mew in for free, and then I'm gonna probably go for something like Earthquake. He does go for the knockoff. This probably will kill me, as it does, because I'm not fully defensive invested, and this could definitely be Choice Bandit for all I know. But now we go into Mew. And now I'm gonna, because I know he should know that this means that I have Dazzling Gleam or Play Rough. So because of that, I could make a neutral play. That would be Earthquake. But at the same time, he doesn't really have anything to... He doesn't have a really good Play Rough switching, so I think I'll go for the Play Rough regardless. He does swap out, like I'll gladly get some damage on the... Okay, this is the swapping in on me. But this is fine for me. That didn't do a whole lot, so he's able to get a Super Fang off here. Which is not really the ideal situation for me, but I think I can utilize Executor as a pivot for this. I think I will use that. I do have my Citrus Berry and this thing doesn't learn knockoff, thankfully. So I can use that thing as a pivot, and I could actually go for the Wood Hammer, because I should be able to do a good chunk to you. He does go for the Super Fang and he does land it, but we have Harvest Citrus Berry. Well, first the Citrus Berry and then we can harvest it later on. So we do have that going for us. And let's see, do we manage to pop off the... We don't pop off that just yet. So what I think I will do is that I could go for the Wood Hammer, or do I preserve this for the Tapu Fini? Because in fairness, I don't deal with that thing all too well. Maybe this wasn't the smartest idea to come into this first. Because I could use my Mew to weaken this thing down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the Mew. This is a confusing play, and I agree that it is, but now thinking about it, now that I don't have the Harvest and Citrus Berry on it, it might be a little bit annoying for me to weaken this thing down. He does go for the Body Slam. Please don't paralyze me. Okay. And I can go for the Earthquake to weaken this thing down. If it has Citrus Berry, I'd rather pop it right now. So let's go for that. This won't do all too much. He does go for the Super Fang. I can roost this off. And we go for the roost. This created is proving to be a problem, but I might as well weaken it down, and I might use Trappings honestly to get rid of this thing. Once I find the proper opportunity. Okay, so he keeps going for these. Maybe we get to see a miss from his side, if I'm being honest. But I keep going for this. He might go for the Body Slam as well at some point. Well, let's see. He does go for the Body Slam. Alright. Do I need Nidoking healthy? Do I need Nidoking healthy? Because the other option would be that... So if I go into that, I could get a big hit off. And I need this Mew alive. Let's go into Trappings and eliminate this thing. This is not a smart thing for me to let Mew get weakened like this, so... Or get paralyzed, so maybe it's best play to actually use Trappings to get rid of this thing. He has Rest on it. Is he Rest, Sleep Talk, and just normal stabs? He could be that. He could be that all for 9-0, but I'm gonna go for the Earthquake and engage the damage. Trappist, you might have to take care of the biggest menace versus our team, which is, funnily enough, this Gradient right now. I don't go for the superpower just yet, because all I know, this could have a Chopo Berry on it. Yeah, he's a rest sleep talk on this, so Super Fang and Body Slam. He does get the Super Fang off. Okay. And I think I'll go for the Earthquake. I have to see if he is Citrus Berry or not. Okay. He goes for the Sleep Talk. This is funny that people tend to use this versus me now. He gets a Body Slam off. Come on, Trappins, you're Eviolite. Ah, we don't leave that. Alright. Do we see the berry? We do not see the berry. Alright, so I can go into Nidoking for free then. And finish this thing off. I doubt he's gonna be preserving this anymore. Because he doesn't have easy time to swap into me or get this thing back to full health. So I think I'll just go for the Earth Power and finish this thing off. And we know it's not a Salt Vest either. It's funny that Gravy tends to bring this thing a lot. I have watched his battles and he tends to bring Gradient a lot. It's one of his favorite mods, if not his favorite mod in this draft in itself. So I'm not too surprised that he came, but this wasn't necessarily the set that I thought he would run. But cool set to see regardless, and it's funny that Rest Sleep Talk proves to be broken, even versus the guy that abuses it a lot. But he's in a tough predicament now, because he doesn't have a Crown immunity. So Life Orb Earth Power will be destroying something, and this thing should not be able to live it either. And this thing has proven to be quite a bit of noise, so he might be thinking like, can he even preserve this thing? But he decides to leave it in, so this should be a dead Squirtle, and there we go, not Squirtle, like Squirrel, like the animal itself. But there goes down the Gradient. Unfortunately, we had to let the Trapinch go down, but it was able to eliminate the Galarian Slowking and pretty much weakened that Gradient to the point that it became expendable. And I'm glad to see that, because that could have been a lot bigger of a problem if I allow it to do its thing. Like, I did kind of give it too much of credit, too much freedom to do that shenanigans. I should have gone into the Trapinch immediately, but I wanted to keep it fully healthy for the Lizarrock if I could have trapped that thing. Okay, he goes into the Pangoro. This would be very good to keep for the Gradient. But at the same time, it would be really nice to get a big hit off on this thing and keep it in a point that it cannot come in anymore. Because I need Mew to beat the Zygarde and Lizarrock. I need Executor to beat the Finny. And Weavile basically can eliminate the rest. So I think I go for this superpower just to get the biggest hit off as possible. And this should do a lot. We should not be able to kill it. Yeah, we aren't able to kill it, but we did a big damage to this Pangoro to the point that it's also pretty much a sack for him right now. And we should die to this knockoff. I think that definitely is a bandit Pangoro, which is not an easy thing for us to deal with right now, but thankfully it's been neutralized. I could go into Weavile, but that invites the Tapu Fini. So what I think I'll do is that I go into Mew instead, because this thing can match up versus everything else relatively well. So we go out into the Mew. And I just click Earthquake here. There is an option that he might preserve this, but considering how low of health it is, okay, he does preserve it still. He goes into Gertie, which is the Tapu Fini. And this is a scenario that he has seen my Executor swapping in last time, so he could try to pull a double. For all I know. But let's see. See, if he calls a double, he can win this game. I think I go for the Earthquake, hoping to see the Pangoro double. He does go for the Pangoro, isn't he? He's not. Interesting. I'll take this. I'll take this. It wasn't the mode that I thought I would be seeing in front of me, but I'll take it. And I haven't revealed triple axle, which should be doing a lot to this thing. If I get all 3 hits off. Alright. I'm not too confident we can win this battle because we are down 1-1 and the Pangoro is still alive. Because he could always make a double if he expects my Executor and he can always claim a kill with it. But Mew can beat a lot of his things 1v1 depending on the finish set. Mew basically beats all the rest. He does swap out. Gertie again, alright. He goes into double Finny. This is where I think I will do this swap. Oh, he's Rocky Helmet. That's really bad for me. Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense, because this is probably red stock then. But I have to roost now. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this might be a really tough out goal for us to be able to win. Maybe I should have preserved the Nidoking at the time. He goes for the Toxic. Is this like rest talk? Because I do get a status of him as well, which is synchronize. Okay. And if there's ever a turn that he would go for the rest, it would be this turn. So I go into the Executor. I think... unless he chokes and I can catch his choke, I don't expect it to be a win. But now I'll try to play for the differential. I have to play for the differential, and if I get rewarded by keeping my head in the game, maybe it solves a win. But I'm gonna be realistic, I don't see myself necessarily winning this game anymore. Cause he didn't bring the Heatran, so the Earthquake is pretty much useless at this point. He does swap. Did he make the Pangoro swap? No, he didn't make that swap. Okay. So I know this thing learns Skitter Smack. But I have to keep this thing alive. I have to keep this thing alive, so maybe I can force a kill with it. Or at very least be able to beat the Tapu Fini. But I expect a Skitter Smack, and now we hope that it's not banded. I am pretty much fully physical defensive, but it will still hurt, and I'm toxic. Yeah, there's the Skitter Smack. That is not banded. This is where I'm gonna be roosting. I don't really have any other play. I think the only thing that I can play for is a timer if I'm ahead of him in time. But I haven't checked it, so I have to check it on following turn. He does swap out into the Illusion Rock. He might just try to dent me really hard if he has crunch on it. Which I'm quite okay with. But I go for the Earthquake just to damage this thing. Yeah, I'm ahead of him in the timer, so off the chance this battle somehow is able to track that long. That's one of my like realistic winning conditions as it gets. And I'm sorry if you feel like down of me talking this way, but I'm just being realistic here. As he does swap into the Fini again. I'm gonna call out the rest, because I think he's gonna be having that. Because why otherwise you'd be running Fini without the terrain. Obviously he wanted to toxic this thing as well, but like I think he would have rest on it. It doesn't make sense for him to allow it to be weakened like this otherwise. So I go into this. Let's see what he does. Does he make any kind of double? Yeah, there's the rest. There's the rest. As expected. I think I wanna stay in so I have an opportunity to get up a citrus berry. So I go for the wood hammer. The unfortunate thing is that it does have recoil on it, and if I don't get it and Toxic wears me down, I'm gonna be weaker to this thing, but let's see. He does swap it to the side guard. The other option would have been teleport to call this thing out, but then the Finny would have come in and I would have been pretty much in the same spot anyway. And we do good damage to him. I would just hope the harvest would activate so I get the berry. But we don't get it, unfortunately. It's a 50% chance, so like I would like to think we eventually get it, but like thus far we haven't been lucky with that. He does stay in, so he probably goes for the Skitter Smack again. But that just means that I go for the Roost. Unless he goes for Dragon Dash, that could be a play too. He does go for the Skitter Smack again. But we'll take this. And I will Roost. He probably knows by now that it's very unlikely for me to click the triple Axle, because he does have the Rocky Helmet intact in Finny. So he could try to attack here, but I need to keep this thing healthy still. Because I'm not confident that he does it necessary. And we see that he does swap out. It's kind of ironic in a way that there are two rest stock modes and I lose to them, but if it's gonna be like that, so be it. It just proves my point that why I run it so much. It's clearly broken. So I don't mind this too much. Other people will probably and have been salty when I run them and they got walled out, but I don't get salty because I do it myself. So like I'm not gonna be hypocritical about it. And I like honestly, it's just good prep, and if you're not prepared for it, then you should be mad at yourself and not necessarily to the opponent. That's my point of view on it, but maybe it's not the most popular one. But let's see what he pulls off. This could be just Moonblast plus Toxic. He pulls up a rest. Can we get a Citrus Berry? We do get up a Citrus Berry. Alright. We are getting some health over here. And honestly, I think Wood Hammer is still my best play. This thing is proving to be able to put the most work right now offensively, so I might as well try to get these damages off. As he does give me the Panda, alright. So there we go, we get some differential out of this. I still don't believe in a win, but I'm gonna keep on fighting as long as I can. Maybe we see him crumble with either choking something away that he shouldn't, or he lets the time run out too much as he tries to think hard not to choke this game away. So the ball is on his court, but he still has to figure out what he wants to do with it. And we just have to play accordingly and try to keep ourselves in the game as long as we can. But again, I don't see myself winning necessarily, so I'm keeping expectations tempered. Like I said, this was a really tough matchup for me. Even with the team that I brought, and I'm pretty happy with it, I wasn't sure what kind of team I could have brought unless I knew exactly the team of 6 that he brings and the type of sets that I can necessarily win this battle. So in that sense, I'm not necessarily kicking myself too much. I'm giving my best with the tools that I have. And while Mew could have been more efficient to be able to beat the finish set that he has, it was hard call for me to really have that, because I would have had to have like taunt on it. And then I would have given up on coverage for the Heatran, which I still wanted to hit with my team. Because as you saw, I only had Mantine for it, and if that thing went down at any point, it would be just clicking moves for free. So I'd rather not have ways not to be able to hit it too hard. And here we just go for the roost. While the toxic is wearing us down. There we go. Actually, I'm not sure. Like, now looking at the timer, is it my own timer that has been lower all this time? Because if it is, then timer obviously is not my winning condition. I don't know. I haven't played Wi-Fi just for a little bit, so I start to forget things. So he starts keep going for this, which is fine, I suppose. He could try to bait me, go for the triple action, and then I'm very weakened. That could definitely be a case for him, but I'll still try to keep myself healthy. Just a little bit more, I think. It's still better for me to roost one more time. Yeah, I'm still ahead of time. The lower timer is my time. I would think he swaps into Finny, right? Like, you can bait me to triple Axo again, put me a very low amount of health with Rocky Helmet. Yeah, I think he now did it. Yeah, alright. I got that one right still, that I kept myself healthy. Good, 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 good. And now we are gonna be swapping into the Executor again. Because again, every single time I get it in, I have that 50% to get my berry back, and I don't have it right now. So it's just better for me to play it this way. If he has Moonblast on it, and I get killed by here, then so be it. Well, let's see. He does withdraw. Alright. Do I get my Citrus Berry? I don't think I do, because the Toxic already went off. Yeah, I didn't... Oh, I do! I get it afterwards. Nice. So it wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't all for nothing. Now we just keep going to the Mew at this point. Like, at some point I would like to get my V-Val in so I can go for the knockoff. But I'm not sure if I can lift the hit from the Skitter Smack. I've not been really calking it necessarily, because I want to be able to have enough time that if it comes to being a winning condition, I have it, at least, in my arsenal. So we go for the Roost again. I apologize that this seems to be really stally, but because I'm in such a tough playoff race, I'll try my best to be, if I lose and I think when, it's gonna be as little differential as possible. Like, I have to keep it that way. I think I'll go for one more. One more Roost still. Because I feel more confident having this thing healthy. Because not only this thing, but Lucian Rock is still a problem to me. So if possible, I would like this Mew at least be able to beat one of them. Yeah, and if I went for like triple axe, I would have taken Rocky Helmet damage. Okay, he does go into Lucian Rock this time around. Maybe he just wants to get a big hit off. And that's fine by me, because I would gladly EQ you. And I still have the Cobble Berry intact, if I remember right. So let's go for the EQ. Don't think it's kills. But I might as well get the damage while I can. He goes for the Stone Edge, lands it. That is banded as... Oh, it's Life Orb, okay. Okay. Yeah, he can force a kill here. Unless I will try to preserve this Mew. I think I'll let this thing go down. And this is probably where the pretty much the end starts, cause him having that is gonna do quite a lot to us. Yeah, he's gonna have one more life of recall hidden in him. So what I will do is that I have to go into V-Wall. If he has Axel Rock, this is where I'm gonna be missing my Ice Shard. But either way, I'll go for the knockoff. I think Axel Rock might kill me. So I think the expectation is that we lose 2-0. Yeah. Oh, we live. That's dope. So I guess we get to see that if... I guess now if it's Bandit SlackOut, it's gonna E-speed me. Leave my Executor as my last one and we're gonna lose this probably 2-0. Okay, he goes into Finny. This might turn out to be a 1-0 win for him. It's a 1-0 or 2-0. Unfortunately, this is gonna be a loss, but thankfully it's not a big differential loss. And I still have, I believe, 4 more weeks to go, so I really have to make sure I can be able to win those games. Has he burned 2 rounds of rest already? He hasn't, this is the last one. Curious to see what his last move was. Well, we don't see it there. So I think here the expectation should be that he lets this Finny go down, SlackOut is the last one standing, and it's gonna be either remaining in the back, as both of us go down, or he revenges me with something else. Okay, he has Scald and Toxic. I think my last hope is that he misses the Skitter Smack. But with the Rocky Helmet and Toxic, and unless I get my Citrus Berry, I don't think I even force him to miss a move. Yeah, we're getting very low on health. We might die here even. We don't. But yeah, now we don't. He can click arrows for free, and that is going to be a good game. To Gravy, yet again I have to say thank you for waiting for me to getting healthy again, because I was in no shape or form of playing these games, and I didn't honestly, like as I've been preparing for these, I would have liked to have a little bit more time as I was healthy to prepare for them, but this battle was played now on Wednesday, and this will go up on this upcoming Sunday, and you're seeing this on Sunday, so I didn't feel like I can really track this too long, and the matchup was so tough that with everything that I was having to be prepared for, as I can actually put it up yet again, like something that could have helped me in this match, so obviously it would have been a Cleric, which I could have made Mew being that, or I utilized a different kind of Mew set that could have been able to win this battle. There were a lot of different Mew sets that I could have brought into this game, but ultimately once I knew the SlackOut gets access to Skitter Smack, it kind of forced me to utilize Mew as a defensive instead of Executor for the SlackOut. So it was a tough matchup. With the other things that I had, like Resi still didn't have a good matchup. Weekly tough. Had a kind of poor matchup, but maybe if I would have brought into this game. But yeah, I don't think, like looking at the team that I had and the mons that I didn't bring, I didn't have too many ways of getting around that. Like, I think the one play that I, like besides like shuffling around the Credent, obviously it was a little bit annoying, but I guess Mew being paralyzed would have been better for me in hindsight. Learning that he had Toxic on it, but I didn't know that at the time, so I still thought At that point of time, it would have been better for me to avoid to get paralyzed, because paralyzation can be also equally annoying if I get fully paralyzed several turns in a row and I don't get to heal myself up. And keeping the Nidoking alive could have been something. But like versus the Pangoro, I didn't really have a other play unless I swap into Weavile hard on the knockoff and kept the Nidoking alive. That could have been maybe one play. So maybe in a hindsight, like try to preserve the Nidoking and find an opportunity to force another kill with it could have been the thing. But either way, I'm gonna not be dragging this outro too much. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the week 9 battle when I go up against Platinum. Hopefully the last time I got to play he was in the AP Academy semifinals. And it's gonna be a tough matchup as well. That's gonna be a tough team as well to beat roster-wise. And he's been doing very well this season as well, to no one's surprise. Has no one's surprise really, so thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the week 9 battle and I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.